tried to end October over 500, facing the Rockets at Staples Center last night. So LeBron James and the Lakers hosting the Rockets. So final minutes of the first, Lakers up 11. LeBron drives, kicks to Carmelo Anthony. You know that's good. Carmelo made 3 threes in the first quarter alone. This is second quarter. LA up by 14. Rockets turn it over. Lakers in transition. LeBron James throws up that filthy two-handed reverse dunk. It's his 19th year in the league, and he is still doing that. He finished with 15 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. So later in the second, Lakers up by 21 now. Russell Westbrook attacks the rim. One-handed jam to go. Take a look again. He almost lost the ball on the way up. He's laughing at himself with the Lakers bench, but you know, when it's good, it's all fun and games. And then in the fourth quarter, the Lakers lead by 25 now. Westbrook drives, kicks it out. Melo, you know what it is. Again, Melo finished with a game-high 23 points and just 25 minutes. Lakers win it 95-85.
I think people don't really understand me. I think there's a misconception up there about not being able to adapt to situations, but I'm easily adaptable to any situation. I've always tried to adapt to every situation that I've been in. Someone's better than others, but this is just easy.
That look was a whole mood, but Carmelo has been on a tear to start this season. He's shooting a career-high 50% from the field and 52% from three-point range, and Melo is also scoring his most points per game since 2016-17 season when he was with the Knicks. And now we welcome back Ramona Shelburne. Ramona, Melo's made his mark as a scorer, and you've seen him pick up his game elsewhere?
Yeah, look, defensively. Do we think we were talking about defensively with Melo?
Defense.
Right, but the Lakers system was the bedrock of their 2020 championship. Their Lakers defense was how they won. And when Anthony Davis is there at the 5 and Melo is playing defense and bought into just the team defensive concepts. I was talking to Frank Vogel last night. He said he's really bought into the system, and when he does that, it's contagious for the rest of the team. So when you get veterans like Carmelo who are giving that kind of effort and doing the dirty work, like just on the block and banging with people down there when they're not getting stats. Now, last night he got stats, 4 blocks, 2 steals for Melo. He's never done that.
Yeah, and he was looking good. The Staples Center crowd they erupt for him every single time. But the question that certainly existed at the beginning of the season and is still playing itself out, right, is how are the veterans that you mentioned, how are all of them going to fit together? So what role has Anthony Davis played in that defensive cohesion?
Yeah, look, the Lakers came into Sunday's game 27th overall in the league in defense. That's terrible for a team with Anthony Davis, a defensive player of the year candidate every year he plays. But they moved him to the 5 yesterday, and I think that, Frank Vogel said they talked about it mostly because of Houston's lineup, and they had an opportunity to see how their smaller lineup looked. But I think this is here to stay. They look so good. They're +8 with him at the 5 there, but that starting lineup that they had, their net rating over the course of the season has not been good at all. The least effective player in that starting 5 has been DeAndre Jordan. So I think he moves to the bench, AD at the 5. And yesterday they went with Kent Bazemore and Avery Bradley as the 2 other starters. Those are defensive guys. Those are defensive-minded players. And this is Frank Vogel saying this is how this team needs to win. We need to make our money on the defensive end of the ball because they lost a lot of their good perimeter defenders, but now they still have Anthony Davis.
Well, and we saw the Lakers have some success with Anthony Davis at the 5 on that championship run they made in the bubble. I know you were tweeting about this game, but you know who else, Ramona, who was tweeting about this game?
Let me guess.
It was Big Perk. I know he was watching the Lakers game intensely last night, late night Perk. So I want to ask you, Perk, what does Carmelo's performance say to you?
It says a lot. And on every night with the Lakers, he's either going to be the 4th option, sometimes the 3rd option, sometimes the 2nd option, and even last night, the number 1 option. Look, Carmelo Anthony haven't seen this many wide open looks since Moby Dick was a goldfish, okay? And when you look at the pressure that LeBron James and Russell Westbrook puts on the defense, Melo is wide open, which all he has to do is catch and release. And that's what he does best, is get buckets. And what I'm seeing is right now, Melo is flourishing in a role that they wanted Kyle Kuzma to do last year, right? Come in off the bench and provide a spark offensively and get buckets, and that's what he's doing.
Okay, so then what is the areas of improvement you still want to see, Perk, for the Lakers?
I mean, Ramona touched on it, Malika. It's that defense, right? And I think I tweeted last night about why put Anthony Davis at the center position if you're not going to feature him in the offense. And then I had to go back and think about it, that I was a defensive-minded guy. And I also love what Frank Vogel is doing by putting Anthony Davis at center, even if he's not featured in the offense, because you know what it's doing? It's challenging Anthony Davis to be the anchor on defense. And that's what we saw last night. Forget the double-double that he had. I saw Anthony Davis anchoring the defense, switching out on pick and rolls, guarding little guards on perimeter, anchoring the defense, contesting things at the basket. The Rockets couldn't get nothing easy. And he was rebounding at a high level on both ends of the floor. So I actually love the move by Frank Vogel because it's in a way, it's challenging Anthony Davis without even saying a word to him.
So quickly then, Perk, if I know it was against the Rockets, who've been struggling a bit this season, but if that continues, if Anthony Davis can continue to be the defensive anchor and they take a step up here, what's the ceiling for the Lakers, do you think?
Oh, it's the championship. And we all know that he could do it, right? We saw it 2 years ago when at times Frank Vogel used him at the center position and challenged him, and he delivered in great fashion. It's all about his mindset. But if Anthony Davis is going to be the best defensive player on the floor night in and night out on both teams, the opponent and with the Lakers are going to win the championship with flying colors, and Anthony Davis is going to win his first Defensive Player of the Year award, which he could possibly win. And when you have perimeter guards, like a perimeter guard like Avery Bradley, it also takes a lot of pressure off of Anthony Davis. I love what Avery Bradley brings to the table, but AD being in tune and actually embracing the role of playing the center position would be everything for the Lakers.
Well, and they don't even have their full cavalry yet, right, Perk? So we're going to see this get to shake out a little bit. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to need you in just a minute.